It's 4:30. The winning numbers were drawn last night in a historic win for a lucky person in California. Someone is waking up today a billionaire.
Rand Paul is asking the Fox network to include him in the GOP debate, saying new polls qualify him.
And school officials in Harlan County looking into a situation where a boy was left on a bus. Well, of that and much more now here on WKYT.
This is WKYT This Morning.
We're to think of actually three winners of this big Powerball jackpot, and we'll have details coming up shortly. Good morning to you. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Let's get a check at what's happening with the weather. It feels a little bit better today than yesterday.
It does, a little bit warmer. Let's check in. Meteorologist Micah Harris is here.
Yeah, definitely not as cold. We're not in the teens and 20s, so there's some good news there. We're actually in the 30s outside this morning. Still clear skies. And typically clear skies, they lead to those cold temperatures. Not this time around, because we have switched our winds over. You see 32 degrees right now in Lexington, 35 in London, Jackson, and then work your way down toward Middlesboro and Harlan. That's where we're still seeing in those zones. Temperatures there in the 20s. By the afternoon, though, it's extremely nice. Upper 40s, lower 50s. A very nice day in store. But then we have some rain move in tomorrow and then some snow for the weekend. I'll show you that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, plenty to talk about in weather. Thank you.
Last night, New Circle Road at Alumni Drive shut down for hours after a crash.
That crash happened just after midnight this morning near the exit of New Circle to Alumni Drive. Police tell us their initial investigation shows the vehicle was traveling on the outer loop of the circle when the driver lost control of the car. The car then went over the median and landed on its side in the inner loop, ejecting the driver. The driver was sent to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. No other cars were involved in that accident.
Well, it looks like Powerball fever is over. The jackpot hit a record high of just over $1.5 billion. Kentucky lottery officials just said there were 3 tickets in Kentucky that matched the first 5 numbers, winning the $1 million prize, but not the Powerball. There are also 5 winners of the $50,000 prize, but the big winner was in California. Chris Martinez has the story.
All right, now for your winning Powerball number.
There's a winner. At least one ticket matched all 6 Powerball numbers.
A lot of excitement down there. A lot of people celebrating.
California lottery officials say a winning ticket was sold at this 7-Eleven store in Chino Hills.
How do you feel that the winning ticket was sold here?
I'm just, it's my pleasure. I'm pretty proud. And I'm really excited too.
You have 1 minute, 1 minute.
People were buying tickets until the very last second. Some waited for hours in long lines for a chance to become an instant billionaire. Wednesday's Powerball jackpot rose to a record-setting $1.5 billion. Tickets flew out of lottery machines as fast as they could spit them out.
Here in California, lottery officials say they usually sell 3 million Powerball tickets a week. Today, they sold 3 to 5 million an hour.
Part of the reason is because people in Nevada flooded across the border to buy tickets. Nevada is one of just 6 states that doesn't play Powerball. Canadian Cindy Doms crossed 2 borders to buy her tickets.
We came down to Vegas for a convention and decided to take a road trip to California to get in on the lottery.
And all it takes is $2 and a dream. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Nipton, California.
Well, the lucky person isn't alone. The winning numbers were also picked in Tennessee and Florida.
Kentucky's U.S. Senator and presidential candidate Rand Paul is still trying to be included in tonight's GOP debate. Senator Paul's campaign has asked Republican Party leaders to include him in the debate. Earlier in the week, debate host Fox Business Network said that he would not be on the main stage because his polling numbers didn't qualify. But Senator Paul says a new poll released yesterday shows him in 5th place in Iowa. He said he would skip an undercard debate. Former Agriculture Commissioner James Comer has made it official. He is running for public office again. The Republican has filed paperwork to run for Congress in Kentucky's 1st District. Another Republican, Hickman County Attorney Jason Batts, has also filed to run for the seat. The district's current Congressman, Ed Whitfield, is not running for re-election. Comer narrowly lost the Republican primary for governor last May to current Governor Matt Bevin. A federal judge has ordered the state to pay the attorneys who represented Kentucky same-sex couples in a marriage case that went to the U.S. Supreme Court. The court legalized same-sex marriage nationwide last June. In 2014, a federal judge ruled Kentucky's gay marriage ban unconstitutional. Then Governor Steve Beshear hired outside attorneys to defend Kentucky's ban. A federal judge ruled the state will have to pay more than $1 million in fees and expenses to the attorneys of the couples. Deputies are trying to track down two men who they say broke into a Knox County store. It happened early this morning at B&H Shoe Store in Corbin. The Knox County Sheriff's Office says two men who had their faces covered at the time used a rock to break open the glass on the front door. Once inside, deputies say the men grabbed some merchandise before running off.
School officials in Harlan County are concerned after a preschooler was left alone asleep on a bus. It happened Tuesday morning when most students arriving to school got off the bus. One sleeping preschooler was left behind. The school says when the boy woke up alone on that bus, he opened the door and started walking back towards school. He was eventually picked up along the road by someone passing by and was taken back to the school. Officials say the situation could have been avoided had the bus driver followed protocol and walked to the back of the bus before parking it.
We do have procedures in place, and we'll look at making sure that we follow those and we strengthen those any way that we can to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Well, the school says their own investigation is ongoing and appropriate disciplinary action will be taken. A Kentucky teenager recovering from a serious brain injury will join his mother today in Frankfort to help introduce a new bill to lawmakers. As we first told you Monday at 6, TJ Floyd crashed his bike 5 years ago and his head hit the pavement. He was not wearing a bike helmet. TJ is now learning to walk and talk again. His mother thinks a bike helmet would have made a big difference in his injuries.
I do believe that it would have lessened the severity of it. I can't say it would have stopped it because of the location of where he hit, but I think it definitely would have lessened the severity of his injury.
Well, the Floyds and State Representative Joni Jenkins will talk about TJ's bill at a news conference this morning. If passed into law, it would require children under 12 to wear a helmet while riding on public streets and bike paths.
Police arrested a Whitley County doctor this week because they say he was practicing medicine without a license. Williamsburg police say last fall, the Kentucky Board of Medical Licensure fined Sean Hudson for the way he was keeping records, and it ordered him to attend classes on appropriate boundaries. But police say Hudson didn't pay the fine nor attend the classes, so his license was suspended. Police say they then received a tip that Hudson was still seeing patients.
The patient stated to us that on January the 8th, they were treated and examined at that particular location by a Dr. Hudson.
Hudson has been charged with practicing medicine without a license. Police say he could face a felony charge for every patient he saw after being suspended, which may have been up to 30 days. That's up to 30 a day. Our time this morning is 4:38 on WKYT, and we're just getting started this morning here on your Thursday.
It seems that more and more millennials are living back at home with mom and dad. We'll find out why ahead.
Temperatures in the 30s outside. It looks like we're going to be looking in toward the afternoon to hold on to these temperatures in the 50s, but that means some activity will kick up the next couple of days. I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Well, it's much better this morning than the past few mornings. Past few mornings, teens, 20s, even single digits. Not even close this morning. We're talking about the 30s outside. And there's live sky camera shot. It's a beautiful morning, and once again, it doesn't feel all that bad. No real frost issues outside early this morning. We're 32 degrees right now in Lexington. You go into some zones in the mid-30s, and down toward Monticello, right around 40 degrees, but then you go northbound, Covington, around 28. That is the way it's been the past couple of days. Really, really cold to the north, and then down toward the south, not all that bad. 51 degrees later on this afternoon. We really skyrocket our temperatures by the afternoon. In lower 50s, that's about 10 degrees above average. And I like these little bursts of some much milder air because the next couple of weeks just do not look very mild. I mean, we're actually looking at some more shots of cold air sliding on in. And it looks like as we go throughout the evening, if you have any plans later on this evening, you should be good to go. About 45 degrees. Clouds will start to increase, but don't expect any rain today. We actually get into tomorrow, and it looks like we'll start to see some rain slide on in. So extremely mild today. 10 degrees above average. We'll take that. Typically, we're there in the lower 40s. Then we get into tomorrow. I would say it really starts during the afternoon hours, early afternoon though. So it's going to be one of those days the kids can get off to school just fine, but coming back home, yeah, it's going to be pretty soggy. Definitely a raincoat will be needed tomorrow. And then we slide into Friday night into Saturday. Here comes a snow chance flying on through. Both of these chances, there's two systems, one Friday night into Saturday that will change it over into snow, and then one comes sliding on here on Sunday, and that'll give us another opportunity at some light snow. Both of those days, we're talking light accumulations at best. Not a great chance to actually pick up accumulation out of this. But it does look like that wind will really kick up there on Sunday too, and that wind will usher in some extremely cold temperatures. We're at 15 degrees there on Monday. We just continue to see these models slowly but surely drop these numbers. Look at your overnight low there on Monday morning, 0 degrees. That means any wind, any of it, will actually put us below 0 there for that wind chill. It's just going to be extremely cold once we hit next week, as another shot at some Arctic cold. So I'm sliding on in. But yeah, a lot of people are really focusing in on, I would focus in on today at 51 degrees, because that sounds amazing, especially what we've been through the past couple of days.
Yeah.
But then it starts to pick on up tomorrow and off towards your weekend, bringing in more snow.
Yeah, and you really had to put a 0 on there, didn't you?
Golly, it's still look good.
Okay, thank
Here
you,
it
Mike.
comes.
4:44 right now. Whether it is to save money or to help mom and dad, more young adults are moving back in.
In today's Mom's Everyday Minute, we have more.
Unemployment is down and full-time work is up. Yet, according to information from the Pew Research Center, more millennials are living at home with their family. Despite the economic recovery, 18 to 34-year-olds are less likely to be living on their own today than they were during the Great Recession. Today, 67% of millennials live independently, while 26% are living with mom and dad. While this trend isn't great for the housing market, there are some benefits. Young adults can save money for their own place, help take care of their parents, and stay close to their family. However, it can also be a financial burden on mom and dad. As always, for tips to make mom's life easier, visit momseveryday.com.
For those tips and more, go to WKYT.com, click on Moms Every Day.
You'll find the latest news and weather updated right there as well, of course, all the time. It's good to have you with us here on WKYT this morning at 4:45.
Well, we've all seen pictures of our friends and their kids on Facebook, but Mark Zuckerberg is courting controversy with one snapshot. We'll tell you why in 5 minutes.
Good morning and welcome back into WKYT this morning. It is right now 4:48. It has been a violent beginning to the year in Lexington. 10 shootings in 14 days, and in 4 of those cases, they've ended up as murders. Lexington police addressed the violent start yesterday.
Police Chief Mark Barnard called the crimes an anomaly for the city. He said police do not think any of the murders are connected, but investigators think they all have something in common.
These aren't random acts. They are acts that are associated around risk behaviors.
Well, yesterday, police announced that they have 5 arrest warrants for the murder of 18-year-old Caleb Hallett that happened last week. The warrants are for 3 juveniles, along with 21-year-old Kenyon Hips and 18-year-old Marquez Smith. 2 of the juveniles are in custody. The city's latest murder happened Tuesday night. Lexington police say they found 23-year-old Timothy Brown Jr. shot multiple times in a car outside the McDonald's on Russell Cave Road. Friends say Brown leaves behind 5 children. Brown played basketball at Bryan Station High School before graduating in 2010. His former coach said Brown had a great personality.
But he was very popular with his teammates. He wasn't a big talker, but when he did talk, he was like E.F. Hutton. Everybody wanted to listen.
So far, police have not made any arrests in the case.
An eastern Kentucky man has been released from jail months after police say he caused a crash that killed a teenager. Jesse Bennett had been charged with murder, but an Owsley County grand jury indicted him on a lesser charge of second-degree manslaughter. Because of that, he was able to leave jail. Police say Bennett's car hit a motorcycle in Owsley County last June while he was under the influence. 18-year-old Taylor Lanehart, who was on the motorcycle, died. Some suspensions have been handed down nearly a week after a brawl broke out during a middle school basketball game in Pike County. The fight was caught on tape during the game between Belfry and Phelps Middle Schools. The Pike County School Board suspended Belfry's head coach Bobby Varney without pay from coaching until the end of June. But he will still be allowed to teach. Board members say he was involved in the brawl.
There were some comments exchanged between the Belfry coaches and the referees as the game was ongoing.
School leaders also say 2 referees, along with some fans involved in the fight, are now banned from all Pike County athletic events for the rest of the school year. If you've been to Fayette Mall in Lexington recently, you may have noticed some construction going on. Kinnikin's Specialty Outfitters is being built in the middle wing of the mall. Mall leaders say the new store is an outdoor and lifestyle retailer. It will be the chain's first Kentucky store. It's expected to open this spring.
Last November, 7-year-old Gabby Doolin was found dead in a pond behind her school. Yesterday, the man accused of her murder was in court. Police say 38-year-old Timothy Madden kidnapped, raped, and murdered Gabby Doolin during a youth football game at Allen County Scottsville High School. But Madden says he didn't do it. In a Scottsville courtroom filled with family of both Gabby Doolin and Timothy Madden yesterday, the accused killer maintained his innocence. His attorney entered a not guilty plea for his client for charges of kidnapping, rape, and murder. The death penalty is an option in the case. Because of that, Madden does not have bail and is still in jail. The Commonwealth will decide on whether to pursue the death penalty by the end of March. Well, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is getting both support and backlash after posting a photo of his baby daughter as she was about to get her vaccinations. CNN's Andrew Spencer explains.
It may seem like an innocent picture of a dad taking his baby in for her shots. The caption says, "Doctor's visit, time for vaccines." But when the dad is Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, those 5 words carry much more weight. Zuckerberg posted the picture of him with his new daughter Maxima. That prompted those who are against vaccines to post some harsh comments to the new dad. Among them, injecting newborns and infants with disease and neurotoxins is disgusting science that injures millions every year. And shame on all of you and your souls. Many anti-vaccine advocates claim there is a link between vaccines and autism. However, that's now been widely discredited. Others thanked the new dad for making the statement. It's not clear if Mark Zuckerberg planned to make a statement on vaccines, but in the past he has addressed the issue, saying, quote, "The science is completely clear. Vaccines work and are important for the health of everyone in our community." I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Well, the post itself has been shared almost 35,000 times and has more than 75,000 comments now.
All right. An interesting controversy, I guess.
Oh, it's always controversial when you bring up vaccines.
It is 4:53 now, it's 7 before 5. And coming up, a look at some of the stories that we're working on for you this morning.
We'll also have another look at your morning forecast.
Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. It's 4:56 now.
And it's time right now to take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
Unfortunately, no one in the Commonwealth of Kentucky made off with a lot of that money after the Powerball drawing last night. The massive $1.5 billion in winnings will be going to 3 people, split among 3 people in California, Tennessee, and in Florida. The cash option for the winnings is around $900 million. And we'll see what's in store for those lucky winners throughout the day. There are some million-dollar winners apparently in Kentucky.
Well, it has been one of the most violent starts to the year that Lexington has seen in a while. Shootings, 4 murders, all within 13 days. The Lexington Police Department held a press conference yesterday to address the spike in violence. They announced that they had suspects in the death of one of the cases, 18-year-old Caleb Hallett, who was killed last weekend. So far, there have been no new developments in the latest murder that happened Tuesday night.
We'll stay on top of that, and we're watching weather with the changes. The temperature goes up and then it goes down as we head into the weekend.
Yeah, it's up and down, up and down. Look, we get into the afternoon. We're at 51 degrees today. Here's the up. Now, the down actually comes towards your weekend, and especially next week. Maybe the coldest air so far this season. We'll have that in your forecast coming up with another 2 hours. WKYT News.